This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you in part by the Naperville Sun.
Eric, you guys have been practicing a couple weeks. You've had one match out against Naperville North. What do you know about your team so far in this short amount of time?
One of the nice things about our team is that we're just very steady all the way around. We pass well, we play good defense, we have a lot of offensive options. I don't think we're one of those teams where typically some of those top teams you usually see, there's one or two kids that really stand out and like, oh, we have to stop that player or stop those couple players. I think with us, one of the nice things about our team is that everybody on our team can get kills. Everybody on our team, can pass well in terms of the guys that are in serve receive. Our guys play good defense. We block well. Our setting's solid. So just all the way around, we're just a very good team. So that's one of the nice things that I like about the group of guys that we have this year.
How would you compare starting out this year where you have a lot of newer guys to the varsity level, whereas last year you had so many seniors?
Right, I mean that's one of the unknowns of this year is that because we had, all our starters last year were seniors, and we did have a couple guys that did have a little bit of experience that got to play some last year. But we had a couple guys that were playing JV just because we didn't think that they were quite ready yet to play at the varsity level. What was really nice to see is, one of the tough things to decide as a coach and as a coaching staff that we always talk about is, do we have a kid on varsity who could conceivably never get to see any court time, or do we have them play on JV and get to play all the time? Because there's only so much that you can get done in practice. There's so much to be said about game experience and getting that time on the court playing against other teams. And that was the case with, a couple guys that are starting now this year with Griffin Shields and Cal Rafferty. Those are two kids who we weren't quite sure about. So, I mean, they were huge in terms of us being able to come out and, with our first win for this season against North.
So when you talk about not kind of knowing what to expect with a group that doesn't have the most experience, were you kind of nervous as a coach going into that first game because you haven't been in that situation, and you talk about how it's tough to kind of replicate that game speed? Right.
I mean, I would say nervous. It's more just, we practiced and let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. I think probably like the first few years I was coaching, I would have said I probably would have been nervous, mm-hmm. But like after doing this for a few years, all you can do is get done what you can get done in practice and do as much as you can to prepare for the match, and then as the match goes on, you can make little adjustments with things. But you tell the guys, hey, this is where we're at so far. Go out there and play the best that you can. So I was pleased with the way that we played.
And against the Huskies, you mentioned that you guys dropped the first one, but make a run there at the end of the second, come back in the third for a decisive 3-set win. Is playing a program like that, I know you guys have played the opener the last couple of years, is that a really good measuring stick for you guys to kind of know where you're at early in the season?
Oh yeah, Naperville North has always been a really solid program, just in all their athletics, just because the school's been around for a while, so their programs are much more established than ours are. And so it's a great way to start off the season knowing that, and especially too, like a lot of the kids know each other and they know what their players are capable of doing. So, and we know what they've done in the past in terms of they're going downstate and their finishes at state. So it's a great way to start the season saying, okay, this is where this is who we want to play. We want to play some of the top teams in the area to begin with. That way okay, these are the things that we need to push and to improve on. Yeah, you can do some of those things if you're not playing some of the stronger teams, but sometimes it's harder to assess where your team's at if you start off with a little weaker schedule and the guys might get a little bit complacent.
A couple trips to state for this program, 3 of them in fact a couple years back. And when you look at volleyball in Illinois, it's been south suburbs, the Wheaton area has been strong, but with Waubonsie and Bennett kind of coming up along with Naperville North, this area is kind of, have you seen it rise these past couple of years? Right,
yeah, I mean this whole area in general, like DuPage County is just always really solid for volleyball. You look at a lot of the teams in the DVC, a lot of those teams are really good, like Glenbard East, you've got Wheaton South, Naperville North, Downer South, Downer South and West Suburban in the area, and Bennett, and like you said with Waubonsie, and then with us. Just the volleyball all around has gotten much better, and just from what I've seen, just from starting here at Neuqua, when I started here at Neuqua, we probably had 4 or 5 kids on varsity that played club volleyball, and played year round. Now we have to cut kids that play year round just because now they're all playing.
Really?
club volleyball. So that's what's really exciting to see as a coach, kids that are putting in the time and the effort to improve their games.
Now, you mentioned earlier you got a lot of guys that are very good all around at many aspects of the game. Is that the main strength of this team, you think?
I would say so, and one of the nice things is that we can move some kids around at different positions. We have kids that are hitting right side that can play outside hitter for us. We have kids that a couple kids who are playing middle who we could move to to right side, and we can move possibly have them hit outside. So we don't have that one kid who we have to say, oh, he's our outside hitter, we have to keep him there, we can't move him anywhere else. So we've got kids that can play at several spots.
Alex Cohen kind of sticks out as a guy, as one of your setters that kind of controls some things both for you guys defensively and offensively. What does he kind of mean to this team as far as kind of keeping you guys clicking?
Yeah. Well, one, he's got a really positive personality. He's just a really good person. And that only complements what he can do on the court, as an athlete, and the players really respect him. And the great thing about this group of guys is that they're all friends with each other and they all know each other. And Alex got the chance. And the nice thing is that we had some kids that came over to play club with him so that they can get that experience with him, because they understand that rapport that you have with the setter is so important for the school season. So he's one of those players, again, just like many of the other guys on varsity. He serves real smart, he runs the court really well, he runs the offense really well, plays good defense, puts up a big block on the right side when he's out there in the front row. So he's just a very good all-around player for us. You
guys are in the Wheaton Classic at Wheaton South with pool play later this week. That seems like it's kind of turned into one of the bigger earlier season tournaments here in the area.
Right, yeah, it's nice that we got the opportunity to play in there this year. We've always had trying to look for an opportunity to get in there and play, and they finally had a spot open up. So it's like, sure, let's go ahead and play there, just because that the teams that are in that tournament, you have pretty much almost some of the top 20 schools in the area playing in that tournament. So it's a great measuring stick, as far as where you could possibly end up in terms of the top competition in the state. So I'm excited that we're getting a chance to play in that tournament.
Pool play, you guys draw Sandburg and Evanston. Obviously not close to the area here. What do you know about those programs?
Right. I know that always Sandburg's always one of the top teams in the area. They've got a really great history. They have some excellent club kids that I always know of end up playing, at some of the top schools in the area for boys volleyball. Evanston, I know, has a always solid program. They have some big kids playing on their team. Just looking at their overall records and looking at their histories, that we're going to have a tough draw in pool play. But we want to come out there and do the best we can. Hopefully, we end up in the top flights for Saturday's matches.
Now, we mentioned earlier, you guys have seen some success in the IHSA postseason. What do you guys need to do to kind of get back to that level with this team here?
Yeah, I think one of the things is that we want to be peaking, at the time when we get to the tournament. There have been, I think we've had some teams where, we've definitely had the talent there, and then, we would show glimpses of what we're capable of doing, where, we'd play really well against certain teams, and then teams were, matches that we probably should have won, we came up a little bit short. So there were times, in the last few years where we didn't play our best volleyball when it came time for the state tournament. So hopefully that's one of the things that we're able to do this year, and hopefully that's one of the things that the guys on this team have seen, is that you have to play your best volleyball when it comes time to the tournament. That it's a long season, those tournament matches and some of those top teams that we play, that even though you possibly might lose, the key is that you learn from those losses, and when it comes down to it, that you want to be playing your best ball when you're getting the regionals and sectionals, and hopefully we get to state.
Definitely. Well, Eric, we know you're on spring break. We don't want to take up too much of your time. Good luck later this week.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.